So this tutorial is going to give you an overview of everything to do with your appointments, and if you're on the dashboard, if you scroll down a little bit further down to the bottom, you'll see that you've got a week view showing of your calendar, and it will give an overview of all the appointments that you've got booked in for this specific week. You can scroll backwards and forwards through the calendar weeks, and you can change it to a month view, which will give you all of the weeks showing in your calendar in one sort of view. That means that you can see from week to week your busyness. You can click on any specific day and it will give you a day view, and you can also go to a list view, which is quite handy when you're in your mobile phone, because it will show your very next appointment coming up, and you can literally scroll backwards and forwards to see whether there's any information on what's left to pay, whether the appointment's been paid, whether it's a free appointment, unpaid, and each one is clickable to take you directly into that appointment screen so that you can get more information. From here in the appointment screen, you can click directly on the client's name to get more information about that client. You can update the status of the appointment to say it's attended or if it's been cancelled, and then after you've changed that, make sure that you actually update the status and you'll get a success message after that. You can go directly here to get directions to the appointment. You can click here to edit or delete an appointment. You need to be in this appointment details screen in order to make any amendments to your appointment. You can add a payment directly into that appointment by clicking on the add payment button, and you can also send an invoice directly to the client, providing you've got an email address directly from this appointment screen. So you can also see that there's a button here which allows you to duplicate this appointment. So this will duplicate the appointment for exactly the same data, so that you can just change any particular field of information. It's giving you a warning here that this client hasn't got a valid phone number, so SMS reminder messages won't be sent, and you can remedy that by going directly into the client's screen and updating and double checking what their phone number is. But you can still make another appointment for this client without that information. So for example, we can put an appointment in for 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon and save that. And basically it just saves you having to re-enter all that information again. So you'll see that that appointment's been put into the diary for 2 o'clock, I think it was. There it is, yeah. So that's all the same sort of information as in before, but it's just been duplicated using that quick function. So in order to add a new appointment, you've got the option here to be able to go in to add an appointment here. Or if you want to add a private appointment, which would be shown in a dark grey colour always, you would click on the button at the bottom and you would go to the appointment button here for new private appointment. And you don't need to put in anything more than the actual event name. So for example, it could be a doctor's appointment. If it's an all-day appointment, it will just show at the top, so it will take out the ability for you to enter in a time. But presuming that it's a specific appointment, you will actually choose here the actual day of the appointment and the time. So it might be a 3 o'clock appointment here, 3 p.m. and it might be for half an hour. So you would choose it to be 30 minutes and you would press done. If it's a recurring appointment and you want to do that every single week, you would click the recurring button and then you would choose the frequency. So for example, it might be every week, and it might be just until the end of the month, so till the 1st of March. And you can enter in an address or you can choose not to put one in, and then you save the appointment. And so that's going to be starting on the 2nd of February and ending on the 1st of March, and it's going to be every week at 3 o'clock for half an hour. So you would press that save appointment and it will give you a success message for that doctor's appointment, and then you'll go back into your diary and you'll be able to see that showing. There it is, that 3 o'clock appointment that you've made, and you'll see that it shows up every week up until the 1st of March, and after that it's not showing any longer. So that's how you would do a recurring private appointment. As I say, you can click on any one of these, hover over them and then click, and you'll be able to see an overview of that appointment. Clicking on the details will take you into the details screen. You'll be able to just go to anyone in the diary. This area here is showing as the areas that you've got in your setup that aren't your working hours. So that's why it's greyed out and it looks a bit different. And you can go to change those working hours in your calendar in the account settings area under your calendar and time, and that's where you will set your start and finish time for your hours. And if you want to set an area, if you want to set the online booking option, you would select it on the right hand side here. But for this purpose, we're just talking about your appointments at the moment. So you set your working hours here, Monday to Friday. You can specify the days that you work. You just uncheck the box if you're not choosing to have that show. If you want to change the hours to, say, for example, you're working at 9 o'clock, you would just press that as done. So for that day, you're only showing from 9 to 5. So all of these can be individually changed, and you can choose the day of your start week. You can also choose the appointment slots for how long you want the intervals to show. So you might, it's by default set for 15 minutes, but if you only take appointments every half an hour, you can change that to 30 minutes and it'll change the look of your calendar. We've also got the option here for you to change your calendar and time to be a 12 or a 24-hour clock, and we ask you to select here whether you're on London time or which time clock you're on, because that can also have an effect on your SMSs which get sent out depending if you've got that set up correctly. We've got the option here for the UK date format and the US date format, but once you've made all the amendments that you want, you just click on the Save Changes button, and that will hopefully have changed our Monday to show now that our appointments diary will be a slightly different view on the Mondays. And let's hope that that's reflected. There we are. So your working day doesn't start on a Monday until 9 o'clock. So therefore that's showing these white areas as available appointments and then this greyed out area as your non-working hours. We also switched off Saturday as being a working day. So that's why that's greyed out. So if you need to open your diary up, then you would just do that under the account settings. As I said before, you can scroll backwards and forwards here. You can also see your next appointment very quickly with this button in the top taskbar by just pressing this drop down, and you'll be able to scroll backwards and forwards through your appointments by pressing these arrows. And again, you can update your appointments very quickly by using the drop down. You can see who you're seeing, where you're going. You can get to your appointment details screen here. You can get your directions button, you can add a payment or send an invoice, all directly from this next appointment button at the top. So that's another quick way for you to reach your appointments. Everything is exportable. We've already talked about exporting appointments in different formats in Excel, PDF and CSV, and it's selected on the week view at the moment, so those dates already pre-populate. But if, for example, you want to have a look at a full month, you would click the month view first, press the export, and those dates will be filled in. And then just by clicking on that button there, it will download that information directly to your computer to open up. You can also have all your appointments sent to you automatically, and you can do that in the account setup and the export information. So you can choose if you want to have your appointment data sent to you on a weekly, a monthly or an annual basis. You just select it from the drop down menu and then you choose which format you want to have it sent in, and then you press the Save Changes. And that means that each week in an Excel format you're going to have your appointments sent to you, your income for your sales, and also your business expenses, and you can select that accordingly in the account setup under helpful tools. So I think that's everything that there is to know about appointments. As I say, everything is colour coded and the colour relates to what you select in your services. So if you're not keen on a particular colour, you just change the colour in the services area and then you choose your preference basically. Sorry, one other thing just to let you know, all of these appointments are drop and drag, so you can move all of these appointments in as long as there is a space that can allow you to move that appointment into it. So if I try to move that appointment there, it won't let me move it because there isn't enough space. But if I move this one up, I might just about have enough space there. Yeah, so you can move any of these appointments into vacant areas. So the appointments are drop and draggable into different areas. Yeah, and so these appointments are also suitable to set for recurring. If you want to have a recurring appointment, you can set that under Edit, and just like you did with the private appointment, you can set this recurring button here to set it up daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and then choose an end date. So that's the recurring option that's available for all of your appointments in the settings. So yeah, that's about everything that there is to know about your appointments.